take care of Tara has?
I don't think that it did. It was her daughter's house that she was at.
Well, 6 o'clock, we'll go ahead and get started. Bishop, you mind leading us?
Sure, appreciate it, Father, Lord, we thank you for once again being able to serve this great community. Lord, we thank you for sparing the lives in the city of Jacksonville. And we thank you, Lord, for giving us the ability to bounce back from the damage. God bless this meeting, bless everyone involved. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this city council meeting. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Dietz. Bolden. McCleary. Sansing. Ray. Mashburn. Moss. Twitty.
Here.
Kinman.
Here.
Raines.
Here.
Mr. Mayor,
I am here.
I have 3 absent.
All right, thank you. We have a quorum. I was asked to let y'all know, Councilmember Sansing, his wife had a medical procedure, and so he is not here with us this evening because he is tending to her. And Councilmember Mashburn is still recovering from injuries sustained during the tornado, so she will not be with us this evening either. So anyway, they wanted me to pass that along to y'all. You've got your minutes from the March 16th meeting. Be reviewing those for next council meeting. So entertain a motion to approve our minutes from the March 2nd meeting. Motion and second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. Entertain a motion to accept consent agenda as presented in your packets.
So move the consent agenda in its entirety.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Now, I am actually going to take a little bit of liberties as mayor here to make a switch in our agenda, just moving some items around since we've got some guests with us tonight. I'm going to start first by moving up the storm damage update, and we're going to lead off with that. And then we've got some guests from the Red Cross that are with us, and so I'm going to let them speak in just a couple of moments. That was Councilmember Raines' submission at the end or near the end for the COAD, the COAD. So we're gonna move that up. Anyway, as you are all aware, and everybody that's here, we did endure the storm and tornado on the 31st of March. I am incredibly happy to say we sustained no casualties. Nobody died. So we praise the Lord for that. Everything that we have done since then, we have kind of been able to do an entire different light because of that, because of no deaths. It would just have been an entirely different atmosphere if that had been the case. So we do thank the Lord for that. I want to thank, first of all, our citizens, everybody who stepped up during this time. And that includes, yes, absolutely. The way that civic groups, social groups, individuals, families, churches, you name it, the way they've come together during this is a testament and testimony to the people of Jacksonville and who we are and what we're made of. So thank you for that and for everything, all their volunteer time. We would not be in the place that we are right now if they had not been willing to serve as they did. Also, then our city employees from fire, city, dispatch, parks and rec, all of our agencies have just stepped up and gone above and beyond. And so I'm very appreciative of them for that. The city itself, there's been a huge difference made from where we were that night or that afternoon till now. I would say with total confidence that we are light years ahead of where the other cities who were affected by this are. And that is purely because, once again, of our people and what they've done and stepped up. The communication that has taken place between city offices, communication between city offices and the public, volunteers, those who all played a role in it. It has been remarkable, to say the least. So I can't reiterate how proud I am of everybody and their work in that way. As far as our town goes, our city goes, all the streets are clear, power's on. So, I mean, that's a good thing, where our people are taken care of. We have nobody who is being housed in the shelter now. First Baptist Church had been housing them, and the last person left that facility this past Saturday. So Red Cross has them in places, whether it's a hotel or other spot. They have all been taken care of. So we are very fortunate for that. In town, it's right at around 217 houses that were either destroyed or affected in some way. Then, of course, there's several churches that have been affected or destroyed. Dupree Park, some businesses. So the tornado itself was non-discriminating where it hit. It hit some of everything, so it seems. So, but our people, like I said, coming together like they have, it's been phenomenal. And I, from the bottom of my heart, want to say, once again, just thank you for that. We are moving forward. Plans are in place. Our Public Works Department, Sanitation, Street, they have all been working incredibly hard. Parks and Rec have been working incredibly hard getting things put back to place. We have managed on our own until this point. Everything that we have done through our employees or through volunteers, which is unreal. We're at the point now of reaching out. We'll be talking about this in a few minutes with contract employment for cleanup and debris disposal removal. So we're at that point. Through FEMA, our expenses in a situation like this, when there's a declared emergency, are generally reimbursed. It's a 75-25. Anything that we expend during this time, FEMA will give us back 75% of it, so we're paying 25%. But with this storm and situation and state of emergency, the governor had asked the president for 30 days, or not, excuse me, I don't know if it was 30 days, but asked the president for a period of 100% coverage, so that anything that we submit during that time would be paid 100%. The president agreed to that for 30 days. So now, due to some timing and so forth, we are actually in the middle of that now. They backdated it, we found out today, to the 10th. So we're now actually 10 days in that we have lost that time that we could have been using that at 100%. The governor's office, though, has informed me that they will add an additional 3 days to us for that, and maybe some of the other cities too that are in that same boat, because not all 5 of the affected cities were affected the same way. So, but they're going to add 3 more days. So we are grateful for that, and so that will be a little bit more of coverage. And now, here's the big thing too. With the 75-25, us having to pay 25% of, the rest of that not covered in the 100%. All of the volunteer time that has been spent by people, from the greatest of these to the least of these, if it was an hour or if it was somebody who, spent an entire week volunteering, every hour, if we can account for that has been tracked, is credited towards that 25%. So, I do not know what the formula is or the multiplier that they use to come up with the dollar amount per hour, but all of that will come straight off the top of that 25% that we would owe. So that's an even bigger level of appreciation for those who did come out and serve, because not only did they serve their fellow citizens and neighbors, they're also helping as far as alleviate the burden that would be shared by the city during this time. So with that being said, do y'all have any questions?
Mayor, I don't have a question, I got a comment.
Yes,
Is
sir.
that every entity in this city that has volunteered, as soon as you can, get your volunteer hours in so we can make sure FEMA has it. cooking meals.
If you did anything,
Anything.
NAACP worked going
NAACP,
door to
yeah,
door,
yeah.
multiple day, I mean, every day from the time that
Yeah.
it started.
Those hours count from the time.
Any organization, anybody that served in any form or
Any
fashion.
form or fashion.
So,
So we want to make sure that's brought forward, because volunteer hours are very important.
First Baptist Church doing the housing, all the people that came up and volunteered there.
Cutting trees.
Cooking, whatever it was, it all goes towards helping the city. So, any other questions or statements, thoughts? One of the things that I've learned during this time, had a meeting with representation from the Red Cross this past Friday. And there's a strategy that they informed me about, and I'm going to invite y'all, one or all of y'all, whoever wants to, if anybody wants to speak on behalf of y'all's organization, to come up if you'd like to. But a COAD, or it's the Community Organization Active in Disaster. What was interesting about how this played out over the past couple of weeks was seeing different organizations step up and work and take a different role. First Baptist Church housed people. They were the shelter where people were staying. The NAACP was going door to door, getting out information, telling people where you can go, here's what you can do, here's what you can find. Crucial information giving out, taking requests, finding out what the needs are. The Methodist Church was cooking meals. There was just different organizations that all came together to make this happen. This would actually be an organized plan for the next time a situation of this nature, not necessarily a tornado, but a disaster were to take place, where there would be organizations in place who already know their role and know what they're going to do. So instead of saying, hey, can you do this, or us fumbling around trying to figure out who's doing what, we know exactly up front who's doing what and can make calls immediately, and everybody jump straight into action. And so we're going to be looking at that. The chiefs were over here, Chief Hibbs, Chief Laffey, and some of our department heads, we're going to be having a debrief from this, where we go back and look what worked, what didn't work, what could we do better, how could, in this whole situation, how could we do it better? This COAD will be a part of that. So in our plan for next time, whenever that happens or arises. So would y'all like to say anything?
Mr. Mayor, honorable councilpersons, allow me to preface by saying thank you for allowing us to say a word. Let me just get right into it. There's an organization called the National VOAD, and VOAD basically are voluntary organizations active in disasters. Then there's an Arkansas VOAD actually, and I would ask you to use that organization as a guide. As far as the community goes, generally it begins with the Office of Emergency Management. I'm not familiar with Jacksonville enough to say anything about that, but I will say that it basically helps to coordinate organizations such as United Way, Salvation Army, et cetera, and NAACP, organizations that are active in disasters. And they meet on a regular basis. We call it blue skies, so that we can be prepared when gray skies come. Okay, but that's really the gist of it. Actually, you said pretty much all that I was going to say.
Sorry.
I wanted to be looking at my paper. So, thank you. But if you have any specific questions, we're happy to attempt to answer.
We thank y'all for being here and for taking care of our people.
Yes,
So
thank you.
appreciate it greatly.
Appreciate you.
So,
Also, I know that you guys, some of you guys may be here for a brief time, but we do definitely want to know your names, what you're kind of doing with the Red Cross while you're here, and have a name to the face. Yeah.
I'm Karen Cook. I did meet you.
Yep.
I am Community Relations and External Relations. I'm here from Charleston, South Carolina.
Thank you.
I'm Kelly Crane. I'm also here with Community Engagement and Partnerships, and I'm from Savannah, Georgia.
I'm Brooke Brooke Spangler. I'm also part of Georgia Community Engagement Partnership Team based out of LaGrange, Georgia.
And my name is Levin Laban. I manage community engagement and partnerships for External Relations, American Red Cross, and I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana.
Thank you all very much. Thank you. And one more announcement with that. With that being said, tomorrow, yes, it is, my dates have all rolled together through this whole thing. Tomorrow, April 21st, at Mount Pisgah Baptist Church in their Life Center at 1026 Ray Road, there's going to be a multi-agency resource center. So partner resources available at the MARC will include service agencies such as Salvation Army, Red Cross, Southern Baptist Disaster Relief, Arkansas Food Bank, along with other nonprofit agencies and local state partners. So anybody who is still in need or needing to talk to somebody about a specific item, I would encourage them to go to that tomorrow. And here is a copy of the brochure. If you would like to see that, you can come up here afterwards and either make copies or just take a picture of it and take it with you. So, all right, now we will get back to our
Mr.
normally
Mayor.
scheduled program.
So part of my motion, I would like to establish the support from council for a community organization active in disaster.
Okay. So that you're asking for support, not making a motion, or you want to make a motion that, okay.
Right,
So-
make a motion to establish the support of the new Jacksonville Community Co-ed.
Okay. All right, we got a motion and a second. So all in favor of the council support for the creation of co-ed here in Jacksonville, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? All right, thank you very much.
Thank
So,
you.
Note that in the notes. All right, moving ahead, we've got ordinance 1724, rezoning of 7708 TP White from C3 to C4. Councilman Dietz, anything you want to share, anything or say anything about that?
Well, we had a meeting, April 10th, and went through it all. So it's, people that don't know, it's all the way down, almost to the Jacksonville line all the way in. It's basically C4, C3 all through there.
I need you on your mic.
Sorry about that. It's basically it's all the way down past towards the Cabot line there, where they've been moving trailers and things in for probably about a year. It's 8.19 acres. Basically, it's going to be a heavy steel manufacturing place, C&D Steel Extractors, which will be building, storage steel places, and big storage. They'll have the front where they'll have some buildings there. It's had some nice trailers already. I didn't really love them, but you know, they had them there temporarily. They're going to build, and they're going to have the steel and everything stored way behind it. So it'll be good for Jacksonville, and it'll be good for the surrounding areas because it'll be right there where they can come and get it. And we, after discussion with Adam and Chairman, we approved it because we'd love to have more businesses in Jacksonville.
Okay. All right, then entertain a motion to place ordinance 1724 on first reading. We got a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Dietz.
Aye.
Bolden. McCleary. Ray. Twitty. Kinman. Raines.
Aye.
Ordinance number 1724, an ordinance reclassifying property in the city of Jacksonville, Arkansas, amending ordinance numbers 213 and 238 and the land use map of the city of Jacksonville, Arkansas, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
All right, entertain a motion to approve ordinance 1724 on first reading, suspend the rules to place on second reading.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call.
Councilmember Dietz.
Aye.
Bolden. McCleary. Ray.
Aye.
Twitty. Kinman. Raines.
Aye.
Pass. Entertain a motion to approve ordinance 1724 on second reading, suspend rules based on third and final reading. Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Dietz.
Aye.
Bolden. McCleary. Ray.
Aye.
Twitty. Kinman. Raines.
Aye.
All right,
Move the
pass.
emergency clause.
Almost.
Approved.
Yeah, 1 second. I would entertain a motion to approve and adopt ordinance 1724 on this date.
So moved.
Motion second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
McCleary. Ray.
Aye.
Twitty. Kinman. Raines.
Aye.
Passes. Entertain a motion to attach emergency clause.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. A roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
McCleary.
Aye.
Ray.
Aye.
Twitty. Kinman. Raines.
Aye.
All right, and that passes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
being on the planning commission, can I speak for just a minute on that?
Oh, okay.
Just to enlighten everybody. Hopefully, you know, when the planning commission does a lot of work to make sure that we comply with guidelines. We're trying to keep the city, we have some plans that are set up, we try to do the guidelines. Hopefully, everybody on the city council, when I got on it a year and a half ago, we sent all the information to city council members. So basically, you would know what we were dealing with and what you could know what we're dealing with, so you would be involved. So hopefully, you'll get that and you'll take time, because I can tell you that it's very important for the city to know the city planning commission. Mr. Jim does a good job keeping us informed. I personally go and view every one of these when I get my information, because that's what the city expects and that's what I think that they deserve. So when you get that, I would hope when you get a chance, we're all citizens who drive around, drive by it and look and see what they're talking about, because we had 3 that come before us. And we accepted this one because it was good for the city of Jacksonville, but we had 2 that we had to turn down. And, you know, we need as much business as we can get, but I'm just begging you to please, if you don't get it, because you might not be on there, Susan will send it to you and make sure you get it. That way you'll know what we're dealing with. The more people that are informed, the better it is. So I appreciate y'all letting me speak on that.
Next, moving on to Resolution 832, authorize the sale of certain city-owned Sunnyside lots to Central Arkansas Home Builders, LLC. Councilmember Deets. Sponsor.
Okay, so, break it down. All right, so we had been in discussion on getting rid of the city lots that the city owned, that before I became a city council member, nobody even knew we owned them. They were just out there, but we were mowing them, as our Parks and Rec knows. So they kept saying, we need to alleviate them, we need to get rid of them, we don't need them. City's not really in the business to own lots that we have to maintain if you don't have a plan for them. So we were begging, this was back years ago, before I come on the council member, there was plans, and Mayor Fletcher before that and Bob kept saying we need someone to come in, a developer, a builder, or somebody qualified to start something in Sunnyside to perk it up, to get it going. So basically, back in October 21st, city council members, I brought a letter to us. It's in the ordinance here. And it wasn't an ordinance, it was an update. It said, sale of Sunnyside lots, addition. City council member dates. I brought it to everybody. That's October 21st of 2021. So these lots have been available. All city council members knew, everybody knew, and they were on the docket. So then in November, city council members, I gave everybody a copy of the lots that were available, personally, with a plot, so everyone knew. Okay? So I think that lets everybody know what's going on with the lots. To be honest with y'all, and I'm just going to point this out on the record, that Mike Deets gets nothing for any sales or anything that he does for the city. I do this because it's for the city and it helps the city. So I just want you to know that. The people that made the offer had contacted me and said they were ready to build over there. They build great houses. The group, Central Arkansas Home Builders, we approved them to build 70 or 60 houses on J.P. Wright Loop Road, and the corner over there on land that they've started. They're all quality homes. They maintain them. They lease them. They're certified builders. They're in town. They're available. And the other side of that is they're building a nice office building and everything in town now, right down on T.P. White that we approved. They're construction companies here. They're here. They also gave me phone numbers. I said, well, I don't want, I need more than just what you're gonna do. I need to know if we have an issue that we can reach you. So in my phone that I'm gonna give to Code and anybody that wants them, they gave me 3 personal cell numbers, the owners. It's Ryan Acklin, Jeff Acklin, and Lamar, another guy, Jason. They said if there's a problem with any of their property ever in town, they'll get the Code knowledge of their properties, and don't worry about calling the tenant, call them. They'll have it taken care of. So I don't know what else I can say except that my thoughts were you get a qualified person in there that wants to build that's reputable, that has all the licenses and is ready to start. I don't see why we wouldn't want to move forward and get some growth started in the Sunnyside Edition.
Could I add something to that?
Yes, sir.
We've been dealing with this a while. I've gotten texts, I've gotten emails concerning this, stating that we have not opened it up to the public, have not brought it to anybody's attention. Somebody's been misinformed. We opened it up to the public. As a matter of fact, there was a gentleman and his son came here to the meeting and requested. And if I'm not mistaken, he bought the lot next to his house. So this has been wide open to the public for years. So you can't say the council didn't say it's there. So I just wanted to make sure I clarify that. It's been public, not only under your administration, but other administrations about this.
Hey, Mike, on the lot, we said something about,
Kevin?
Microphone.
it's on, can you hear me?
No, is it on?
Yeah, can you hear me now? Okay.
There we go.
So Mike, we set up I don't know, a month or so ago, that we would talk to people that own them right beside the lot. Did you go and did we do anything on that?
I researched them. It's not my job to personally.
Oh, I got you.
I got a full-time job.
I got you.
And I work hard, and I brought that up, and it's anybody's right that they can go do that. But I can tell you right now, the majority of them are owned by rental companies. D&D Rental, Daniel Rental, A&D Rentals. You know, so our situation was, but if the person next to it was gonna get it, I think they had ample time. The other thing on that, what are they gonna do with it? Is it just gonna be out there for it to be mowed and for us to mow it and them not maintain? I mean, I don't know. I got good feelings for people. I want them to have in the city take care of them, but at this point, the city, Kevin, am I not right? We don't want to mow them anymore.
We've got plenty to mow without.
Exactly. We got plenty to contain us. I mean, I'm for that, but if it's kind of like the 11th hour, if they wanted to be done, could have been done, Kevin, and not anything you weren't on here. But back in October and in November, I gave everybody a copy of this. Nobody seemed interested.
Mike, I have a question. The gentleman that had reached out to me, you did reach out to him, right? And you did follow through with that one?
Yes, and he said he was gonna be here. I will tell you that I don't think there's a lot that we own next to him. He said he owned the property, but I have good records. If I got them back I'm old, and from October 21st, one thing I've always done is kept up records. I'm just saying, so that lot, I'm not sure, but, he asked me, because somebody had went by and talked to him, and he said, are you an owner? And he said, yes. Well, the city's selling the lots. And they said, you would have the option to yours. And so he called me, and I was in a conversation yesterday with Mr. Curtin. And I said, well, if you own it, I said, I'm sure that we could make an arrangement, because these people were doing this to benefit Jacksonville to start building. We need housing in the worst way now, even worse. These people are qualified. You can't just build or start building on a house or anything unless you're licensed, bonded. There's a lot to do. Yeah, and you have to have insurance. So my idea was, not that the city's hurting for the money, but it'd be good to get rid of them and put that behind us after 2 years. That's just my take, Mary. And, I did talk to him, and I went back to the owners that were calling about. I said, if somebody wanted to buy one or two that lived next to him, would you be okay with that? He said, I just want what y'all need to get rid of so I can start building to get Jacksonville and Sunnyside going positive. We haven't had any growth in there in forever.
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we read resolution
I'm sorry, there was
hold
something
on.
already on the table.
Yeah, she was asking.
Point of
something
order.
already. Go ahead.
So first off, it was established that we were going to be making a special committee for this. When was the first meeting, last meeting, any of the meetings?
So, I'm sorry if I may, I went back to look at the minutes. I know it was discussed that we would do that, but I don't know that one was ever formed.
Right, and the last meeting, we also said that it would be published in the newspaper. What was the date that that published was?
We had talked about if we had previously published anything in the paper. It wasn't a definitive, we are publishing this. And
Right,
I
but it
talked
was
to,
asked from Twitty that we did publish it when it was said that there was nothing published in the paper.
from my understanding, it was a question of should we publish this? Councilmember Twitty, would you like to clarify?
I'd have to go back and look at the minutes, because I don't remember.
So my answer to that was historically, we have not published these in the paper, just like the gentleman who wanted to purchase the land adjacent to his home so he could park his vehicles there. He came before council, requested that. We did a resolution, I did a deed, he bought it. This is a similar situation. Same thing with the hospital. If you have someone who's interested in city property, they come to the city, they make an offer. I draft a resolution. It's not published in the paper. And that was my response.
The agenda is, however, published widely.
Correct.
As
Right.
does now.
This has been discussed multiple times. This is not anything new, so.
And in this situation, so everyone will know, you know, we kind of got a qualified builder ready to build, which we need properties. The other thing was, it's not costing the city anything or any time. He come to us, he approached us, he wanted to buy them. He's netting us the $750. When we help these other people, he's paying all the fees and everything for the city, title insurance and everything, to help us alleviate something that we don't really need and want. And it'll help the city, and I think it's time to move on.
It was stated previously, Mr. Mayor, that this would be a good opportunity for residents to gain land, and I think that that is a necessary thing. I would also like to put on the minutes, from the parcels that were listed, half of them were actually next to somebody who personally owned that residence. And so those residences that the city currently owns that is next to an owner is 106 Jackson Circle, 118 Jackson, we're looking at 129 Jackson, 183 Park, 108 Lee Avenue, 193 Roosevelt Road, 171 Roosevelt Road, and 196 Pike.
Not what I have.
I'm sorry, it's in the AR County data records.
Yeah, but AR County record's not right. I have records right here.
Mr.
But I'm not
Mayor,
gonna argue with you. They've
point
had
of
it-
order. Point of order.
Ma'am.
Mr. Mayor, I did submit before the council meeting that I was sponsoring citizens to speak on this matter. When everybody has their chance for first remarks, I would like to have them come up and speak on this.
Okay, how many,
It was two.
2 people? Okay. Who were your 2?
It is Kurt and Brian.
Okay.
Ms. Brown, I have a question.
Yes.
Question is, if she has a list, is it a different list?
It's the same list, it's the same resident, the same parcels. It's in Exhibit A.
Nothing else.
So are the people here ready to buy them?
No, I'm stating that
No, the people aren't. Not you. You don't live next to them, so you can't buy them. Excuse me.
point of
That's
order.
Hey. Yes, ma'am.
So, I don't want anything getting riled up. I'm just asking for the citizens to be formally recognized so that they can speak.
I will grant that. They can come forward and speak. They've each got 2 minutes to come say. So,
Thank you. I appreciate that. Could I first get Kurt to come up here, please? And you'll need to clearly state your name.
I'm Kurt Zunruffinen.
Spell your last name for
Employed
me.
at,
Do what?
Spell your last name. for me.
ZEN-RUFFINEN.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I did purchase a lot in Sunnyside in August of this year, employed by the Jacksonville School District. It was kind of rushed because school had already started and I was looking for a place to live, and I was lucky to find a house that was decent enough to live in Sunnyside. Once I purchased the house, I noticed that there was several lots around me that were vacant. One being right next door, constantly had trash in it, and I was thinking, boy, that'd be nice if I could just purchase that lot. I got on the county website to see if it was, available or repossessed or, city-owned, and it wasn't, as far as I could tell. After the tornado, I was out in the yard picking up branches, even on that lot, picking up branches and putting them on the side of the road to be picked up, when Reginald Ford just happened to be driving by, and he slowed down and stopped, and I was like, can I help you? Is there anything you need? And after talking to him for a while, he goes, would you be interested in buying this lot, or buying a lot? And I was like, yes, I would. That's how you build wealth. If you own the property, if you increase the size of your lot, you increase the value and you generate income, not necessarily income, but you generate that wealth by having a larger lot. I was called by... Mr. Kurt, at 2 minutes, we'll wrap up, please.
Okay.
Kurt,
I was
you
called by
called me.
Mike.
I talked to you yesterday, I did
Yes.
talk to you.
Please
He
don't
offered me the
interrupt him.
lot
He's
next
trying to
door, which
finish.
I'm happy to buy. I just don't think everybody knows that those lots are available. I did not know. Thank you for your time.
What's your address?
Mr. Mayor,
I'll let it, go ahead.
What's your address, Kurt?
Hmm?
What was your address? I got it on there, but.
106 Faulkner.
Gotcha.
Yes, ma'am.
I do have a follow-up question. So you said that you were interested in purchasing these vacant lots. What were your interests in this, since that was questioned?
Interest in the lot?
Yes.
It's money. Makes the house, the lot that my house sits on is, the house is almost as big as the lot.
Mm-hmm.
I have a little tiny parking pad. It'd be nice to have a garage. It'd be nice to have an area fenced in that my dog can run. It's having a yard that you can actually use is pretty, you don't see that in Sunnyside. Those lots are awfully small. And if you're gonna be building another house on a small lot and just smash people in it, it's not gonna be very attractive. But if you have a larger lot, that person's going to actually have an investment that is going to pay them a return when they sell their property. It's going to be more attractive for someone coming in to buy.
So if I am hearing you correctly, you're interested in contracting a builder to build on these vacant lots?
A garage, yes.
Which
Thank
lot
you.
were you interested in purchasing?
Which
Which lot were you interested in purchasing? What was the
I believe
address?
it is 104 Faulkner,
Okay, because
and that one wasn't listed.
Right, this isn't
Yeah.
part of this resolution.
You don't own it? No.
How can it be offered to me?
Who offered it to you? I'm sorry?
I didn't offer it to you. We don't own it. I got the list right here, what we own.
But you called me on the phone.
You said you wanted to buy the lot next to you, and I thought you had checked into it and knew the lot that was next to you.
See, now that's where we have a problem.
I don't have a problem. I got a list
No.
right here of the lots that we have for sale that's proposed, and everyone here knew the lots.
But you called me.
I didn't
Mr. Mayor, I
call
call
you.
for a vote on the resolution.
Because you,
We don't
yeah, but
have-
you said
we don't
there was a
have
lot
first and
next to you that
second
someone
yet.
told you could buy.
Could I say something?
Bishop,
So I was misled.
Let me say this. We were notified that you were interested, that someone was interested. Our job is to call you, somebody's supposed to call you, and that's how the call was initiated. Not that the lot was on the list, we were calling you. Now, if Mr. Ford came to you and asked you, did you want to buy the lot, evidently Mr. Ford knows who owns the lot, and will talk to you about that person
No,
buying
he
it.
just asked if I wanted to buy a lot.
Oh,
And I was like, yes,
A
I'm
lot in
interested in buying a
Sunnyside.
lot.
No,
Right.
He did not
And-
say that that lot was available.
okay.
there's a bunch available in there.
But when you called me, you said, we will take that lot off the list and you can have that lot.
If it lives next to you, I told you.
You didn't
I
say
said,
that to me,
we're allowing
I'm sorry.
people that come before us.
So I'm not
We
gonna
can't
get my
sell you what
lot.
we don't own.
We don't own
Mis-
it.
Mr.
We can't
Mayor,
sell you
point
something
of
we don't
order.
own.
yes,
Wait.
at this point,
Point
this,
of order.
yeah, this discussion is,
Yeah.
there's no reason for this part of this discussion, because
Okay,
we don't own
I
that lot,
understand that.
so.
But
Right.
is there lots that are available that I can buy?
There are, and I know that you had previously stated, and I do want it for the record, that you were interested in purchasing multiple of these parcels
There's several
in the.
that are empty across the street from me. One or two that I know the city does
There's
own.
many in Sunnyside, yes.
I mean, that is on the website, so, I mean, it's a good investment for the citizens that live in that neighborhood.
Thank you
Yes,
for your
sir.
time, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Blevins. And the same 2 minutes.
Yeah, well, before my time starts, I want to also state that I spoke with Mr. Curtin. He said that he was offered the lot at $1,200 and not the $750 that was in the ordinance today.
That's
Uh,
not, Brian, can I address that?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I was just telling you that's what he told me. I just want-
$750 is the cost that he'd have to pay his closing. It's $1,200 the city nets on every lot. is how
Okay.
it's worked.
So, what Mr. Dietz failed to let everybody know is back in 2021, when this thing was brought up, I was on the city council, and I said, "Hey, look, can we not make this where we could finance it for the people of Jacksonville?" And I was told, "No, there's no way we could do that." So at that time, 10 minutes after that was done, I told him that I would buy all the lots and set up a way for citizens to actually be able to purchase it and finance it. And I spoke with him 10 times over the next 2 years to try to set this thing up, met with him out in person, talked to him on the phone. You know, he's like, all right, let's do it, Brian, let's do it. But I never got anything from him, and he never told me that I needed to give him a contract. But I told him, I'm like, hey, look, I'm ready to do this today. Like, let's do it today. He never got back with me, but obviously he got back with somebody else in order to do this. Like, here's the deal. Citizens need this. We just got hit with a huge tragedy. Like, you don't want to kick them while they're down and sell the lots out next to them, like, when they're still picking up limbs and stuff and trying to fix their houses up. The city of Jacksonville does not need $12,000 more than these citizens need an opportunity to be landowners and homeowners.
Yes.
I mean, it's just plain and simple. $12,000 is nothing. Let's get out there. Let's have an auction for the city. Let's put all the lots at $750. Let's people vote, and whichever ones that don't vote, then they can give it to the guy that he wants to sell them to. And by the way, saying that, hey, look, if we call them, hey, look, they told us that if you call law code enforcement, they'll fix it. Guess what? That's what's supposed to happen every time. That's not a benefit. It's not a benefit. Like, the thing is that this needs to happen for the citizens. No,
No,
it's
sir,
not.
he's still.
Anyway,
That's
this
completely
needs to go to citizens. This needs to happen. Like, citizens are the ones that make this town go. It's how it should be.
Brian Freely, we did have a discussion during the council meeting. The lots next door that's empty to a residential person that owns that house, if that lot is next door to them, then they would have first bids at it.
Where was
But-
it promoted though? Like, I mean, we haven't
Where's
pushed
their
it
first
anywhere,
bid?
but obviously whoever talks with Mike
It-
Dietz has it. I mean, like, and you guys are saying, oh, well, we said it during the city council meeting. Well, I can tell you 100 times when we were on the city council meeting where people are like, well, nobody watches the city council meetings. So, I mean, we need to put this public. We have a main Facebook page. Like, let's take a month and put it out there and let people get an opportunity to purchase it. And if it doesn't happen, then we'll be fine with selling it to, you know, whoever Mike Dietz is working with. So, you know,
Anybody, Brian? A company contacted me, was ready to buy the lots to
again,
revitalize
let's make
Sunnyside.
it public knowledge. Let's put it on the Facebook page. Let's put it on the website like we do every other thing that we sell and do in the city. Thank you.
Good. Yep. I will say this, part of that that is not done. We normally don't put stuff out there when it is for sale like that, so, just on your last comment. So.
How did his friend know about the property being available for sale?
I'm assuming, I don't know, I'm assuming just like the individual who spoke earlier, he looked on the assessor's website, or he heard Mike talk about it in the council meeting. I'm assuming, it's public information though, and that's how the city has sold other lots.
You know, it's been in the paper. It was in the paper because when they write the stories, it's in the paper. And also, all these minutes are public record. I've had individuals come to me that want to buy lots, and I said, well, y'all just contact the city. I'm not a salesman, so I'm not gonna try to sell. Yeah. I've told them, contact the city. It's just.
So I have a question. Out of those individuals, how many would you say you had contact you?
Talk to me?
Yes.
Quite a few. I'm
Out of, but you can't give a number.
I'm not a salesman. I don't keep quoting.
Of people that you contact you?
When a person come to me and asks me a question about anything dealing with the city, finances or the property, contact the city. That's what I tell them. I'm not gonna take the lead road and try to sell them. I'm not gonna drive by their house and say, do you wanna own a lot? That's not my job.
So my question, the reason why I'm asking you this is how many of those people actually got a follow-up on this? How many of them actually got a parcel of land out of this?
There's one sitting in this room that came to us about a lot, and we gave him the list and told him he could get any lot he wanted to, and to purchase. That's what's sitting in this room right now, but I'm not going to call him out. He's sitting right in this room, and he wanted to know, I want to know about the Sunnyside lots. He came right up here and talked.
Mr. Ray.
Second to my motion.
No, sir. What's that? What's your
What's
motion?
your motion?
Yeah, motion has died for lack of a second. We will need to remake the motion.
Which is
Miss-
a motion that we read resolution 832.
So move.
All right, we have a motion and second to read Resolution 832. All those in favor of reading 832, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay?
Nay.
Resolution 832, a resolution in support of and authorizing the execution of sale documents from the city of Jacksonville for certain real property described herein and for other purposes.
All right, entertain a motion to approve and adopt Resolution 832 in its entirety. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay?
Nay.
One nay. Motion carried.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like
Yes,
to
ma'am.
apologize for the blatant disrespect that our citizens have received today. And I'm sorry that we did not follow up on our word. We said that we would establish a special committee on this, and we did not.
Moving on to Resolution 833, expressing willingness of the city to utilize federal aid transportation alternative program funds for the Military Road Sidewalk Phase 3 project.
Move that we read resolution 833.
I have motion and second. Motion second to read the resolution. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Resolution 833, a resolution expressing the willingness of the city of Jacksonville to utilize federal aid transportation alternatives program funds.
Move the adoption of resolution 833.
Yeah. Motion and second for the adoption of Resolution 833. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? So, motion carried. Chief, do you mind, please?
Because our chief. Yeah, well, I think they were excited.
Please, let it go. Moving on, ordinance 1725, authorizing an intergovernmental agreement creating the Little Rock Air Force Base Regional Planning Committee.
Move that we put ordinance 1725 25 on first reading.
Second.
Motion and second, roll call, please.
Councilmember Deets. Bolden. McCleary. Ray. Twitty. Kinman. Raines.
Aye.
Ordinance 1725, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute the attached intergovernmental agreement creating the Little Rock Air Force Base Regional Planning Committee, appointing City of Jacksonville representatives and for other purposes.
Entertain a motion to approve ordinance 1725 on first reading, suspend the rules and place on second reading. Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Deets. Bolden. McCleary. Ray.
Aye.
Twitty. Kinman. Raines.
Aye.
Entertain a motion to approve ordinance 1725 on second reading and suspend the rules and place on third and final. We have a motion and second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Deets. Bolden. McCleary. Ray.
Aye.
Twitty. Kinman. Raines.
Aye.
Entertain a motion to approve and adopt ordinance 1725 on this date. Roll call.
So moved.
Motion and a second. Roll call.
Councilmember Deets. Bolden. McCleary. Ray.
Aye.
Twitty. Kinman. Raines.
Aye.
And that does not need emergency clause, so that is carried.
I'd like to thank everybody who worked on this project, the study, everything that came before it. I know that it's a lot of work and it's definitely needed. Thank you.
Thank you. Ordinance 1726, waiving competitive bidding for debris removal and disposal. This is storm related.
Move we read ordinance 1776 on first reading.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Deets. Bolden. McCleary. Ray.
Aye.
Twitty. Kinman. Raines.
Aye.
Ordinance 1726, an ordinance waiving competitive bidding for debris removal and disposal for appropriate implementation and access for Department and City of Jacksonville representatives, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
Entertain a motion to approve ordinance 1726 on first reading and suspend rules and place on second. Yes, sir. Adam,
They are tentatively set to mobilize Monday, provided this action goes through.
okay, we have a motion and a second. So, roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden. McCleary. Ray.
Aye.
Twitty. Kinman. Raines.
Aye.
Entertain a motion to approve ordinance 1726 on second reading and suspend the rules, place on third and final. We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden. McCleary. Ray.
Aye.
Twitty. Kinman. Raines.
Aye.
Then entertain a motion to approve and adopt ordinance 1726 on this date.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden. McCleary. Ray.
Aye.
Twitty. Kinman. Raines.
Aye.
And then finally, entertain a motion to attach the emergency clause to
So
this.
move the emergency clause.
Second.
Motion second, roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden. McCleary. Ray. Twitty. Kinman. Raines.
Aye.
All right, thank you very much. That passes. Now, would entertain a motion to suspend the rules so that we can add ordinance 1727 to
So
the
moved.
agenda. Motion
Second.
and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So entertain a motion to place ordinance 1727 on first reading. We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Roll call, please.
Let me get a sheet out. We added something. Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
McCleary. Ray.
Aye.
Twitty. Kinman. Raines.
Aye.
Ordinance 1727, an ordinance waiving competitive bidding for debris removal monitoring for appropriate implementation and access for Department and City of Jacksonville representatives, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
All right, entertain a motion to approve 1727 on first reading, suspend the rules and place on second. Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second, roll call, please.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
McCleary. Ray.
Aye.
Twitty. Kinman. Raines.
Aye.
Entertain a motion to approve ordinance 1727 on second reading and suspend the rules and place on third and final.
Second.
Motion and second, roll call, please.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
McCleary.
Aye.
Ray.
Aye.
Twitty. Kinman. Raines.
Aye.
And then entertain a motion to approve and adopt ordinance 1727 on this date.
So moved. Second.
Motion second, roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
McCleary. Ray.
Aye.
Twitty. Kinman. Raines.
Aye.
And then entertain a motion to attach emergency clause.
So moved, emergency clause.
Second.
Motion second, roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
McCleary. Ray.
Aye.
Twitty. Kinman. Raines.
Aye.
That carries, thank you. Couple of appointments before we finish up. A&P Commission seeking the reappointment of Roger Sundermeyer for a term to expire on 3/31/2027. Motion second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And then also Sewer Commission, the reappointment of Edwards, excuse me, for a term to expire April 20th of 2028. We have motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Not any new business coming from council members.
Well,
Are we?
now real quick, so on the appointments for different boards and stuff, are we still keeping those handful that once at one post?
Yes.
To make sure that.
In fact, yes, we are. And there's one that has already been contacted to be put on another position. And I was inquired yesterday by another individual asking about another name from the group that was.
That's what we see tonight, that so. Now, what I wanted to cover, just for my fellow council members to think about, Dupree Park is tore up from the floor, and so we're asking Kevin to together with us and bring something to us so we can expedite it being repaired, so we can get back to work. So, just wanted to bring that, so that we need to have our minds ready for that.
Mayor, so do we have an idea, Kevin, how much we had already started versus, you know, what, I think we'd already did the lights, I'm sure. They got knocked out. I don't know, was there any other work and
The lights, unfortunately, were finished Thursday evening before the tornado hit. They actually came down, finished the last light pole about 3:30 Thursday. We turned lights on that evening, made sure everything was working, and then Friday, the tornado hit. The repairs at Dupree had been done, rebuilding concessions, and that project you guys had approved. The inclusive playground equipment is on site. It was in containers. Playground company's gonna be here next week to assess what's all damaged in them. They were flipped. They're locked, so we can't get in, and I need the professionals to look at that.
Right.
I mean, all you guys, I'm sure, have been through, you've seen the park, and like Bishop was saying, we don't wanna lose the tournaments. We've worked a lot of years building these relationships, getting these here. We've been focused almost primarily on Dupree Park. Hundreds of loads, wastewater guys have been out helping. I mean, we've had a lot of city help, sanitation guys. We're there every day cleaning. That way, insurance will be here next week, and we'll have a lot better idea then of what all will be covered and what we're gonna have to reach out to FEMA to help with.
Right.
Could I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
I know we're on our agenda, but is there a way we can vote to add something to the agenda tonight? If I made a motion, I'm asking. I'd like to make a motion to add to the agenda that we waive the bidding to repair Dupree Park.
No, we need an ordinance to do that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have an ordinance.
That has to be in an ordinance.
Yeah, that's gotta be an ordinance.
You can't just waive it, motion and second.
So once Kevin has more of a final number, we may have a special meeting so that can get approved, so he can get started.
And
on
I've
that.
I've got a lot of things happening next week. Lighting guys coming in for both sets of light. Because we've got some Musco lights that are still under warranty. They'll have to be repaired by them. They'll be here next week. Another lighting company's giving us prices on getting poles set. There's a lot of things happening right now. I don't have any numbers yet, though.
Okay, as soon as you get the numbers,
Yes, sir.
let's grab some sheet.
Yes, sir.
Any idea of redoing the ballpark, the one major league field, the baseball one, and upgrade it some? I mean, compared to what we're at, because
There's lots of problems with that field. One of the problems, and Mayor and I've talked about this, high school still in the middle of their season, senior game hadn't happened, senior night.
right,
There's no power in the park. Energy has now decided they're gonna feed power into the park from Redmond Road instead of the back. So we have no power in the park, and I don't know when that's gonna happen. On Field 1, Coach's Field, as we all call it.
yes, Coach.
One light pole was down. There was fencing damage, obviously, but there's four, excuse me, 4 of the other poles are twisted.
Right.
Some of them twisted bad enough they've actually broken the electrical at the bottom. There's a lot going.
Right.
We,
I knew that. I was just wondering, when we get some of the insurance money and we get some other monies coming in insurance, that, we might be able to do some type of upgrade on Coach's Field, because I think it's, when people come in, it's very nice looking field.
and we had done some upgrades there
Yes.
that did not get tore up in the tornado, luckily.
Okay.
New dugouts. I mean, there were some upgrades done preseason
Right.
that did not we
Okay.
did not lose. Yeah.
Kevin, you said they were gonna bring the, power in from Redmond. Do you know if they're gonna go overhead or underground with that power?
It'll be
You may not
a
know.
combination.
Combination.
And I tried to get them to do all underground. They were like, we absolutely just can't afford it. They're gonna go overhead into the park where there's already existing overhead, and then from there, everything will be
They
underground.
use just wooden poles to follow a
Right.
line.
Right.
Councilmember Kinman.
We're sitting here talking about bidding this and that of the Dupree Park, but am I wrong in thinking that there's insurance companies involved that are gonna tell us how much money we're going to be receiving?
Yes, ma'am, and they're flying in.
Yeah.
We've been dealing with them already. There's another group of adjusters coming in. They'll be here Monday afternoon. We're starting Monday afternoon with
But
them.
I think after we get those numbers from insurance companies, that's when we need to branch out and say, okay, what can you do these lights for? Okay, what can you do this
Well, and
for?
they've asked, we've had several meetings. I've actually met with adjusters, the agent. We had a Zoom meeting with a major claims adjuster that's flying in. He has actually asked us to start, because he said, this is the world I live in. He knows I'm gonna need Musco to do some of the lights. We've started on, just so we're ahead of the game, once we get the go-ahead.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? If not, entertain a motion to adjourn. We're adjourned.
All right. Just that one.